Welcome to another edition of the Wonderbury podcast.
I'm Brian,
And I'm Dave.
and you can find us online at wonderbury.com.
You can find me on YouTube at Open Darkwing.
And you can find me on TikTok. Just doing things.
Just doing things.
Just
having
doing
fun.
things. I did a cool dance with my new shoes.
I should do more TikTok-y stuff
You should. It's fun.
before it gets banned.
Yeah. Sad.
Oh, it's I don't know. I have some mixed feelings about, like, I'm not like a lot of other people where we're talking about data and data mining and all that, right? I understand the purpose behind it. And I understand that, companies sell data and all that stuff. I am less enthusiastic about a state actor taking data from social media and lying about it. Because, like, if they were to just be like, yeah, we're harvesting data, so fucking what? That's one thing. But lying about it, it's going to end up going the same way as Huawei did, where they were embedding in all sorts of stuff into phones, routers, everything else. So I don't know. I'm not. I'm kind of mixed on the whole. Should TikTok be allowed to operate or not? It has nothing to do with the platform. It all has to do with who's running the platform and who's collecting the data off the platform.
Yeah. I think Microsoft should have probably followed through with their purchase of them.
Well, the problem was it was only going to be the U.S. holdings, with the caveat that the parent company still had control and maintained access, and that's what everyone was trying to stop.
Which is what, Tencent or whatever.
Is it Tencent or is it someone else now? I can't remember who.
Yeah, I don't remember
who operationally runs it, but I do know that it's not the best of ideas on the operational running of it, because I typically don't mind that companies, especially for free apps, harvest data. That's fine. It's when they lie about it. Like, I can find out from Google, from Microsoft, from even Meta and Twitter of who has access to my data. When a government actor is taking access to your data and telling you that they're not, that becomes an issue, especially a nation like China. And I have China is one of my top 5 places that I visited that I loved. And one of the 2 places that I would love to go back to and visit as a civilian. But
I want to go. We should do that.
Hong Kong is awesome. I fucking love Hong Kong.
No, wait a minute. That's different, Dave, and I don't think we should get into that.
Hong Kong it's run slightly different, but it's not like Taiwan.
You said, okay, there's a lot of issues and I don't fully understand, but you were like, I want to visit China and we should go to Hong Kong. And I was like, well, I don't.
I'd love to go back to Hong Kong. I loved Hong Kong.
We should go. We should do some Wonderbury around the world, which means you guys need to, like, buy some ads and stuff. Pay us money.
Wonderbury around. Give us money.
Give us money. We want to go places.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Every time, because right before before the podcast, we were talking about, Meta or Twitter and them collapsing down and who would be left and all of that, because it's fun watching the train wreck. I will fully admit it has been so much fun this last week, 2 weeks, watching the absolute shit show train wreck that Facebook has become.
Yeah.
But
And
it
Twitter.
reminds me of the cable cutting, right?
Yeah.
We got tired of paying cable companies for a bunch of shit, a whole bunch of money for a bunch of shit that no one watched. And so as a generation, we pretty much threw a Molotov cocktail on the cable industry. And what sprang forth from the cable industry was everyone went, okay, we can all build our own streaming services. And now we have so much fragmentation going on with it that it's not really saving anyone anything because they're paying more for all the individuals grouped together than they were for a cable company, to the point where I've seen headlines now of people saying, why can't we just have one service that we subscribe to that gives us access to all this stuff? I'm like, well,
You
we
know,
did have that.
I was, well, I had talked about, we talked about like movies anywhere before the streaming services got as bad as they did. We talked about movies anywhere back when it was just like buying shows and movies on different places, and like, crap, it'd be nice to have one place where all of the content was.
Yeah.
And movies anywhere did make that simpler of like combining all that content, even though it was limited. They did a good job of like combining all the service, like these different services and these different studios, and getting them all to kind of work together a little better. And it seems like eventually there's going to be more of that. Amazon does that. You can put your like Paramount subscription into Amazon, and then you can
Yep.
watch your Paramount shows right in there. And I think eventually it's going to start working more like that, where they'll start working
Well,
together a little better. And like on our like on Android TV or on Google TV, like that might be a hub where you can just like, oh, I've got,
they kind of
you
already
enter
do
in
that
your
because I can
subscriptions.
search, I can utilize my Chromecast, and I can just do one generic search, and it searches all the platforms that I've connected to give me what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So that
And
does sort of kind of in a roundabout way already exist.
yeah. And I think it just needs the next step of like managing that better, which I'm not even totally sure what that step is. Like, I feel like it's just misstep. And
It
I feel like
it feels
probably
like it would be nice. It feels like it would be nice to be able to have one place to pay to access everything.
yeah, and you could
Um,
just be like, have check marks like Paramount, and that's something that I think the Chromecast does nicely is you can say, you can check mark which services you have, and it shows you content on those services
yep.
only, except for some other services have ads placed, like I see
Yeah.
some ads for like Apple TV and Peacock, but it does a good job of just recommending me content that I can see because it knows what services I have. But if it had that other step of being able to manage those and accept the payments for those, I think that would be a good deal.
I think it would be very helpful. I don't necessarily see it happening because we've kind of decentralized everything now,
Yeah.
and I get why everything's decentralized, and I'm not. I don't. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers some people because I know it really bugs a whole lot of people. I get
I
why, because
I
of
feel
how
like
companies are
those
run.
I feel like those people probably have a Roku though.
Probably.
I don't know if you've ever used a Roku, but
Yeah.
the experience I had versus what I've had on Android TV and on my Chromecast is wildly different.
Oh,
Wildly
I
different.
I love I much prefer my Android TV
Yeah,
and my Chromecast over Roku.
it is
I
so
didn't
much nicer.
have I didn't have bad experience necessarily. I had a frustrating experience with Roku, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
say it was categorically like absolutely terrible. It was just not fun.
yeah. yeah, wasn't fun, and it wasn't easy.
Mm-mm.
It also isn't pretty. I realized that, like, looking at the Chrome, like the interface on the Android TV, like it's a sleek, nice looking interface, and then looking at the Roku my parents had, it's not.
The Roku
It wasn't.
interface reminds me of they hired the same people that do hotel room televisions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of the vibe I get from Roku is like, okay, am I going to get a Wyndham Hotels splash screen when I turn my TV on?
That's
I mean,
dead, dead on. That's what it. That's what it feels like. Never looked at it that way, but that's what it feels like, Dave.
and I think it's just it's an old style for the technology that never really kind of, they never had a reason to
Yeah,
update it, so they didn't.
yeah.
And, we're just kind of stuck with this now.
Yeah. It kind of
And it's
it
fine. I mean,
does
it,
it
it
feels more channel based versus content based, which I think is what our difference is. Like you and I are looking at more content based.
yeah.
We're going like content forward on our experience, and the Roku is kind of more like channel based.
And I think that might be just also a difference because some people look at things via channel base versus a content base. You and I both have always gone kind of content based with stuff.
Yeah.
We've, that's one of the reasons why I have pretty much a subscription to every goddamn thing out there is because I do go by it's kind of, to me, it's all content.
Yeah.
I don't see, I forget sometimes what stuff that I like watching and enjoy watching is on, or I'll try out because I don't look at it through the services because I've got damn near all of them.
Yeah. Oh, do you have HBO Max?
Yep.
Can I borrow it? Wait, don't answer that here. Answer this later.
Oh, that's funny.
No, we were looking at subscribing to it, and I was trying to justify. I think the trouble is I want to subscribe to the Showtime upgrade on Paramount,
Yeah.
and I want to get the the plus upgrade. What's the I want to get the ad-free upgrade, whatever that was called.
Oh, the ad-free upgrade is amazing.
Yeah, because that's the only way you can have Atmos on the Paramount Plus, and
Oh, gotcha.
with them remastering all the Star Trek movies, which then they remastered it, released it, and then I was like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to upgrade my Paramount Plus, and then I went, and then the movies weren't on there, and I was like, okay, well I guess I won't.
So that comes from, so there are some so before Paramount and CBS kind of finalized their combination, they were two separate business entities with their own separate contracts, right?
Yeah.
And so part of when because you start off with CBS Plus or CBS All Access, I guess is what it was called before we went to Paramount Plus, because Paramount finished their buyout of CBS.
Yeah.
And so what we had two separate Star Trek intellectual properties. You had
Yeah.
the television show properties and you had the movie properties. And
Hold on. And then when CBS All Access started, the streaming one became its own third separate one.
right. And so yeah, so
Because
you
it wasn't confusing enough having two. They made a third one.
Then you had Yeah, well, because it wasn't so much it was a third one. What it was so each of these individuals, I'll wrap back around to that. Each of these individual placements had licensing contracts in place for streaming services. So the movies and Paramount had contracts they have that were signed out X amount of years. And then you had the television shows, because the last television show prior to New Trek was Enterprise. And that was finished before streaming really became popular. So you had the 2, 4, 5 old shows, 6 old shows, 6, 5. TOS,
Original
TAS,
series,
TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, 6. Those were on a contract basis for elsewhere, and then New Trek shows up, and they don't have to honor any of those contracts. And some of the contracts for the TV shows were for exclusive rights, and there's ones that weren't exclusive rights, which is why for a while you could find TOS, TAS, and Enterprise on CBS All Access. TNG was on CBS All Access and Netflix. And then only for a little while, only Netflix had the rights to Voyager and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And that was because of all those old existing contracts. So what I think is going on right now is that the movies were signed to some exclusive contracts for a while, that they're still waiting for all of that to kind of go out the window and finish up before they can
I thought the only contract they had left was the Netflix one, and that one wrapped up. Now, the other thing that I have been having trouble with is figuring out where the hell the other movies are even streaming at, period.
Let's see if we can figure that out.
I've been looking, buddy.
Wrath of Khan. That was the first one that I just typed.
Yeah.
And Hulu premium subscription. Which premium subscription? HBO Max.
Oh, so back to my last
HBO
question.
Max add-on for Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Let's see if that is the same for search for Spock. Watch. Let's see, overview. Yep, HBO Max. So it looks like the TV movie, or it looks like the movies are on a
Okay, now hold on. I don't
HBO Max.
I have HBO Max on my phone, but it says I have to upgrade for it. Do you have the HBO Max app on your phone?
Yes.
Check it real quick.
Yep.
Because it might be one of those deals where HBO and Showtime might have a deal together, and you can watch it if you have Showtime linked up. Because Showtime is also owned by Viacom and is part of the Paramount Plus.
It looks like it's through HBO itself.
Okay.
And it looks like all of them are here.
Is the original the motion picture on there?
Yes, motion picture.
Does it say
Wrath of
Dolby
Khan,
Atmos?
Search for Spock, Voyage Home, Final Frontier, Undiscovered Country, Generations, Insurrection, First Contact, and Nemesis are all on HBO Max.
Huh.
So there's where they went.
God, that's probably why I couldn't find them.
So whenever, one of them died out, and that's why they pulled them off, because I'm sure with it being on HBO, they are a exclusive.
So does the HBO Max version for the motion picture say it's an Atmos version?
Let me look. Motion picture. It just says TVG HD 5.1. Let me look on the webs. Let me look on the online to see, like on
Okay.
the browser. Will it
So
say Atmos if it's Atmos?
it should. It
Oh
should.
boy.
Because I know that was a big deal. They remastered it in Atmos.
It
And
is the new box art.
okay. As of like whatever, I think May or whatever this
So
year.
it's the rainbow colored in the middle box art.
Hmm.
Writers, composers, directors. It doesn't say Atmos anywhere. It does say 5.1.
Well, that's a bummer. HBO Max is one of the few services that actually has Atmos like included in their
Do you know of
plan.
one that would absolutely have Atmos no matter what?
Dune.
Dune. Well, Dune's not on HBO Max.
It's not.
No.
Uh, what about the new Matrix? And I'm not even sure about it. Seems like a lot of the newer like action movies had. Oh, Blade Runner. Blade Runner's HBO Max,
Okay,
right?
so Matrix does say Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, but the
Okay.
Star Treks do not have the Dolby.
Huh. So
I'm looking it up.
Paramount gave HBO the movies without Atmos. That's interesting. Interesting.
I can't find anywhere that has. Hang on. Okay, so here's the thing with the motion pictures getting remastered. For the 40th anniversary. Okay. The big thing that I don't see is that they were announcing, because anywhere that I have found um the Atmos stuff is all on physical disc. All right, here we go. Fully restored director's edition of Star Trek motion picture arrives on 4K Ultra HD. This would have been July of this year. Newly restored. The director's edition arrives September 6, 2022 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray with a Blu-ray disc. Longer cuts. September 6 with 6 big screen adventures. It says nothing about it streaming with Atmos or 4K.
I bet you they save that for Paramount then. I bet HBO just runs the 1080 and the Dolby 5.1, the DTS. I bet the DTX. I bet it doesn't do
Utilize excessive resources in Paramount archives to recreate the effects not just in HD but Ultra HD. Took them over 6 months to remaster it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Atmos takes some work, but bud, you're adding a whole nother dimension to the audio rather than just your horizontal plane. You're adding a whole vertical plane of audio. And that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it looks like everything on, and I'm looking at StarTrek.com's their announcements of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's all Blu-ray for the 40th. I'm sure it will eventually come.
Yeah. I'll bet you what happens is when it's done with their when it's done with the run on HBO and they bring it back to Paramount, I bet that's when they launch the streaming of the 4K and the Atmos.
All right, let me backtrack a little bit. Let's go to because you can purchase these things, right?
Yeah.
Like Amazon Prime Video, they sell movies that have
Yeah. Amazon and Apple's TV store are the only ones that support Atmos currently. I don't think the Google TV store doesn't, but it sounds like they have. Okay, so you know how we moved
so
the Google Play
Amazon.
Music into YouTube Music? It
Okay,
sounds like they're gonna move Google Play Movies and TV into YouTube Movies and TV.
that's fine. That
And
doesn't bother me.
yeah, it doesn't bother me either. And it sounds like that will get all of the quality upgrades. And then what it was, the Google TV app will just be an interface for like tracking watch list shows, and that'll be our like interface like what we were previously talking about.
Okay, so if you buy it on Apple TV, you can get the Dolby Atmos version if you purchase it on Apple TV.
Okay.
If you purchase it, let's see, Google Play,
Google Play does not support Atmos.
Amazon Prime,
Yeah, I'm checking Prime now. I think I
audio
already.
language is English, HDR, UHD, but it doesn't say anything about.
Let's see. I already own the motion picture. Ah, it says currently unavailable.
To purchase?
Yeah.
Oh, I can buy it on Amazon. You can buy the UHD version or the HD version or the SD version, but it does not, at least on the motion picture, it's not saying. All right, we're going to try this. Prime Video,
Weird.
Matrix Resurrection, because I know this was in Atmos. Audio description, HDR. So Prime doesn't even tell you if it's Atmos or not.
Yeah, trying to figure out stuff on Prime is so freaking complicated.
So they don't have a listing of whether or not something is Atmos available or not. They just have
They
HDR or
they do, but it only comes up
if you
on an
purchase it.
Atmos device. So if you're looking on your phone or on your computer and it does not support Atmos, it won't show it. But if I look on my TV, it will show it.
Shouldn't my fancy Nvidia graphics card with the audio upgrade stuff
No,
support Atmos?
no. On
Oh,
Windows,
that's
you have to
bullshit.
pay you have to pay a Windows Atmos something fee. Windows and Atmos don't get along for some god awful reason. I don't know why.
Dolby Atmos is supported on Windows 10 and 11. Microsoft created as a Microsoft Spatial Sound, a platform-level solution for spatial sound. TVs, home theaters, soundbars, Atmos, all sorts middleware.
Yeah, no,
3D
you go read that on
space.
your own time because that's going to be a 10-hour research project, Dave.
it
I've looked
looks
into
like
that.
there's a spatial sound platform plugin.
Yeah, and that's not the Dolby Atmos one.
This is from Dolby.
Oh, that's from Dolby. Okay.
This is I'm reading this straight from Dolby.
Okay.
So it
I
looks like
know it was way more complicated than what it needed to be. So,
yeah, it looks a little complicated.
yeah.
Because I do have Atmos headphones. I don't use them, but I own a pair.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've wondered how those would work. I want to play with them sometime. But I think that's what you need the spatial plug-in, and then you need the special software through the Windows Store that I don't remember what it was. I don't know. Anyways, the Atmos sound. Oh my god, dude! I've watched the big fight scene in Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
yeah,
I don't know how many times I've watched it, so many times, because it was good. It was really good. I started watching it in Atmos, and there's two parts that just it blew my mind. The part where Thanos, he swipes his sword, and it comes like from the top of the screen on one side to the bottom of the screen on the other side, and you can hear it come across the room like in the same direction. You feel it in the sound coming through the room. And then he's beating on Captain America's shield,
yeah.
and like how you feel it rather than just like hearing the sound of it. Like the Atmos just makes you feel that
That's
the
cool.
pressure of hitting that shield. And then the second one is when Pepper, Iron Man's laying on the ground, everybody's coming in, and like all the excitement builds up, and Pepper comes in her Iron Man suit,
Yeah,
Iron Woman suit, whatever. Like you start to hear her come down before you see her on the screen, and you literally look up at the ceiling. The sound makes you look up at the ceiling before she hits the screen.
that's
Like
cool.
you look up because you hear it coming down on top of you, and then she shows up on the screen as you're looking back down on the screen. And I was like, that's freaking phenomenal. Like that's not just like good quality sound. That is phenomenal engineering work. Like phenomenal engineering work.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might dig out those headphones and play around with some Atmos on the computer and kind of check it out a little bit more.
Dude, if you do, go watch that fight scene, man. It's epic. I mean, it's an epic fight scene anyways. Like
Yeah.
one of the best scenes ever, but having the Atmos just gave it a whole nother level of holy crap. That was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that. That would be probably a good idea for me. It's just the stuff that I tend to game in and I tend to do is all left channel, right channel, because it's, I'm kind of a basic bitch that way, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and that's easier, especially if you're streaming. Like, trying to process that much audio takes up
Well,
a
it's
lot
not
of
the
power.
processing of the audio. It's that for a long time I was streaming primarily PUBG, which is only supports left channel, right channel.
Yeah.
So they don't even support Atmos or anything that way, or even spatial sounds will muddle everything up for finding out, where gunshots or sounds and footsteps and all that stuff is. They've developed their own 3D audioscape from just their own little from their own stuff. So it's not like I would be able to do anything with that anyway, because I've tried and it absolutely just ruined, almost as bad as my my DAC throwing everything to mono.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, Flight Simulator, that would probably be pretty baller in Atmos.
That would. What games support Atmos? Hang on.
That's going to be a wild ride. This
Here's a
Atmos
somewhat list.
this
Let's see.
Atmos ride has been for me.
Ooh, Cyberpunk 2077 supports Atmos. I've been wanting to
Oh,
play
that would
through
make
that game
sense.
now they've kind of fixed some stuff. Flight Simulator also supports Atmos. Oh, that's just a bunch of airplane noises.
Oh, yeah, but the immersion of it, that would probably be really nice,
Uh,
dude.
Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order all support it.
Oh,
Shadow the Tomb Raider, Rise the Tomb Raider,
oh, buddy.
Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Village support it. Sea of Thieves has Atmos. Sea of Thieves has Atmos? Fuck.
Halo Infinite? No Man's Sky?
I haven't played No Man's Sky yet.
I haven't either, but it looks amazing.
I ended my my Xbox subscription for a bit. I put it on pause for a bit.
Huh.
There's it looks like there's some decent games on here.
Yeah, holy
I've
cow.
been wanting to do a Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough. What I might figure, I wonder, can I, or do I need a new card for that? All right. Can I? Can I run Atmos on OBS?
Ooh, boy.
Surround sound and streaming and recording.
I don't know. You'd probably do better just running a DTS or X 5.1 stream.
I
Atmos
don't
is
think
like
it would
just
keep
now.
Atmos. I think it would. Not that it would make any difference, because I don't think you can Atmos out or even surround out YouTube videos yet. I think you've got to use.
YouTube does support surround, but not in a DTS. They support a PCM, which is like the older formats.
I wonder if AV1 and the corresponding audio was that VB9,
Yeah.
if that would work. What?
We were gonna talk about some Twitter things and we forgot.
You know what? Who cares?
I do want to laugh about the blue check mark thing though. Can we
Oh,
laugh
yeah,
about?
that was
Can we
funny.
share a laugh? And why everybody wanted a blue check mark, so we made it so everybody could get a blue check mark, and you just had to pay $8 a month, and then everybody got a blue check mark, and then changed their name to Elon Musk, and then he decided he didn't like that, so now there's a way that you can get an official verification tag with a check mark if you're an official person. So you still have a verification tag that you can't pay for. Funnily enough, Elon Musk posted like right before the elections that since there's a Democrat president, that everybody should vote for a Republican.
Yeah.
Did you know that Elon Musk hates the left?
Do
you know why? Do you know why he hates the left?
Why?
Because that's all his wives did to him.
Oh, and there's our dad joke. God damn it. Damn it. I'll have to figure out how to record. Maybe I won't pump it Atmos, but maybe I can do something that's
you should be able to
reasonable.
Yeah, you should be able to push it out in a surround format of some sort.
I think so.
YouTube does PCM, so get a 5.1 stream going. That wouldn't be bad. I
think I'm going to end up buying a graphics card that'll do the AV1 and VB9. So maybe I can just directly record that way and get some true HDR content recorded. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yep.
But, well, that went in a completely different direction than I was expecting it to go. So, I guess another successful Wonderbury podcast episode recorded, but we have no clue what's happening.
These are the best ones, though.
I know. Well, I know I got to wrap things up because I got to go help out the fuck trophies. Yeah, and I heard that phrase today for the first time. It blew my mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm using that instead of crotch goblins from now on.
You got a bunch of blue ribbons there.
Fuck trophies, though.
Fuck trophies.
You'll have to message me later and let me know how the wife looks at you when you use that as a phrase.
Yep, that's a pretty good one. I'll use that.
Oh, I'm definitely going to use it. I'm using it from now on. I don't care. I'm just going to drop it every once in a while and see how people react.
Yeah. Amazing.
All right, man. Have a great week.
All right.
Or have a great weekend. We'll see everybody out there. You guys have fun this weekend. Be safe out there. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Later.
Light.